Dragons. One of the most mythical creatures to be said to ever flew on this planet. Thanks to film culture, literature, and even video games, people start to imagine what does a dragon look like and how do they behave. According to the Chinese zodiac, dragon is included as one of the 12 animals, and compared to those animals, nothing can ever top dragon as being the coolest creature. So if you're born in the year of dragon, consider yourself lucky. Spyro 3 Year of the Dragon is the third and final entry on the original PlayStation, developed by Insomniac Games as usual, released on October 10, 2000, just in time for the Year of the Dragon. Despite not growing up with the series, but I did play those games as I grew older. Not gonna lie, all three games were pretty good in each ways, and I would say Spyro 3 is the best one in the series. It maintained all the fantastic elements from the predecessor and never do anything to change the gameplay. The controls as usual are tight and responsive. Spyro will move anywhere according to your input, and the whole adventure is smooth. Upon beginning your new adventure, you appear at an area which acts as your hub world. In the hub world, you can freely roam around, pick up gems, and interact with different characters. Each hub world contains a set amount of levels within that you have to enter in order to advance the story. Collect different amount of gems, collect different amount of eggs, and you can proceed to the next level. The controls are very straightforward with only 3 buttons to worry about, apart from the obvious analog stick. Your main ability is to of course breathing fire that can pretty much defeat any enemy, and let me tell you, every time you release the angry breath, you can feel some sense of satisfaction as you tear through the enemy defense line. Second ability is a charge attack, where you can start running with your head charging forward that builds up your speed as long as you hold down the button. It's pretty useful to hit bomb enemies and break some open chests. Third ability are the wings on your back. By pressing jumping after you jump, you can glide slowly in the air before slowly touches the ground. Being able to glide slowly means that you can casually fly towards some platform that you normally couldn't reach. The developer knows what they were doing when they were busy constructing a level that required platforming, and they clearly understood how to build a strong structure to keep the pace going. Hence, whenever you're playing the game, you will not be frustrated by the complicated level design. Instead, as long as you keep trying, eventually you will find the right way to access specific areas. All 3 games are pretty good, and once you play one, you can pretty much expect a similar experience from other titles. Compared to Spyro 2 having only 3 worlds, Spyro 3 have 4 of them, and they're pretty unique. Each world was represented by different times of the day. Sunrise Spring, Midday Garden, Evening Lake, and Midnight Mountain. The stakes are getting higher as the day goes by quietly, so you don't have much time to waste, so get on it quickly. Of course, I couldn't mention Spyro without mentioning the brilliant soundtrack from Stuart Copeland, the guy who played as a drummer in the music band The Police. He did yet another outstanding job. Despite having Year of the Dragon in its title and despite being the third game featuring the iconic dragon, Spyro is not really the star of the show. Throughout your new adventure, you will come across Moneybags, the greedy idiot that returned from Spyro 2. Here, he imprisons some extra characters that you can only unlock by paying him some gems. It's mandatory to unlock them because in some section, the game forces you to play as them. If you haven't unlocked them, then be prepared to backtrack. When you do unlock all 4, this is what you got. Firstly, Sheila the kangaroo, who speaks like a fellow Aussie. Her main moveset is to jump high and perform ground pound. Sergeant Beard, a fellow British agent that tried to accomplish his job. I like his accent as well. His ability is to fly endlessly and using his weapon to take out anyone in his way. Not as good as Spyro though. Bentley the Yeti, a Yeti that also speaks with a fluent Scottish accent. His main ability is basically his hand. He holds a large icicle that is capable of smashing things into pieces. He can also use it to deflect any shot. A lot of people seem to hate him, but I love him for being a big tough furball. Agent 9 the Monkey, which was created by a professor, which just a carbon copy of what Sergeant Beard would do. Except this one is a monkey and monkey couldn't fly. He can shoot everything in sight and occasionally you can switch to a first person mode. And I guess out of all 4 characters, this naughty monkey would then inspire Insomniac to make a new IP. And if you take a look at the IP, you can see some shocking resemblance. There's also Sparks, Spyro companion, but he's not locked by Moneybags, thank goodness. His level is basically a shmup section, which I like. Move him around, dodge attacks, shoot your projectile at other enemy, which kinda reminds me of Bangai-O from Dreamcast. Overall, Spyro 3 Year of the Dragon is simply a perfect game. I love this game from start to finish and I just don't understand, I just couldn't find anything else to hate the game. There's nothing wrong with the game at all. Okay, maybe I exaggerated because there's some little flaws about the game. And the flaws came from the characters, the side characters themselves. Remember when I said you need those characters to access some areas? Well, I mean it. Some were designed especially for different characters and while they're controlled just fine, it slowed down the game by quite a lot. That's my biggest problem. They don't feel as fast as Spyro and you tend to feel like they feel just eternity to end. Like they just don't want to end the entire game. And when you compare everything together, 3 out of the 4 characters aren't fun to play. It just feels like Insomniac increased so much padding to the game in order to make it feel like it's very long and as a result, it becomes nuisance to play as them. Yes, Crash 3 also do this mechanic where they introduce you with bunch of new mechanic like boat, bike and auto scroller, but at least you can still play as Crash and his sister. Then you look at Spyro 3 and you have 4 characters that came out of nowhere and they don't have any past history with the series. Why should I bother playing them? This is called Spyro Year of the Dragon. So every spotlight should be on Spyro himself. So why should we talk about them? Does anyone care about them? No. I imagine if all the characters were different types of dragon, different breeds of dragons, maybe the game would be acceptable. But in the end, I still love Spyro 3 Year of the Dragon. It improves on all the things that I love from Spyro 1 and 2 and just maintain it the same here. Controls are smooth, gameplay is refreshing as usual, the quest is fun to go through, different types of levels to traverse, and the worlds all are really interesting to travel and fly around. Spyro 3 in a way seems like the end of an era. 3 games, all 3 games are good, and when you reach the hike that you never achieved before, you don't have anything else to achieve anymore. Like you're at the peak, no one can catch you anymore, and what's next? Well, downfall, as we see later. Wrote with other series of games, their quality dwindled, and never were able to recapture the success of the trilogy on the PlayStation 1. Until Reignite the Trilogy, which came out 2 decades later, but hey, that's a remake of the original 3 games that people love, so it doesn't count. Overall, Spyro 3 is a fantastic game. It's what I love on the first 1 and 2 game, but make it even better here with new levels and some new quests, and call it a day, and this is what I love about it. That's all I can say with this video. If you enjoyed what you see, be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss a thing. Comment below your opinion on this game. Which Spyro is your favorite? Do you like Spyro 3 of the Dragon? What do you think about the Spyro future now that it's bought by someone else? Let's have a peaceful discussion. Thank you for watching, and have a great Dragon year.